of the Church, the Eucharist, and service of charity form the principal characteristics by which church communities were recognized. Love is the central message of the Gospel, for in the Gospel, God in His incarnated Son is definitively revealed to be love. To make God known is to promote loving actions that touch the lives of human persons and society. This is why charitable service is a core aspect of the mission of the Church. The call to love implies a vast field of work touching every structure and index with bare implication on the good and dignity of the human person and integrity of creation. In the understanding of the Catholic Church, to show love to human beings is first and foremost to promote all that preserves their lives, uphold their dignity, and open avenues for them to actualize their potentials. In this regard, the Church considers social charity to be fundamental to her mission to human society. It means embracing as part of our vocation the need to actively engage with the society to ensure that emerging social structures and networks of interpersonal relationships embrace.
In the Church as a whole, which I represent, the desire of the Church is that every human being should be at peace with each other. And as you know, Catholic Church is not a discriminating church. Go and see our workers. We have Muslims, we have non-Catholic, we have Catholic. Men, when we talk about dignity, we respect human dignity. Every person.
It was to bring to reality the plan of God for the life of every human person, to be able to live a well-meaning life, a dignified life, as children of God, whether they are Christian, whether they are Muslim, as long as they are human persons, created in the image and likeness of God.
As a faith-based, non-governmental, non-political, not-for-profit and charity organization, JDPMC was formally registered.
We're about to start the business on the day. And the number one thing on the agenda is arrival and registration of participants. I want to strongly believe that everyone seated here have had their names written on the attendance sheet, right? So that activity is complete. We go to the opening prayer. Shall we be on our feet while we take the national prayer? Thank you very much. We can have our seats. The next item says introduction of guests. All of us seated here are guests at this occasion, and we want to take time to appreciate us and introduce us. Right here we have Mr. Suleiman Taiwo, election watcher from the fellow local government. We have Pastor Gio Orekule, Finance Committee Chairman of the local government. We have Mr. Olukayomi Akintunde, election watcher from Iwo local government. Mr. Aziz Oluwagbenga from JDPM Oyo. We have Bolarinwa Olabode, is the election watcher from Ife North. We have ASC Adeleke Kende from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense. You are most welcome. We have Winifred Sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. So she's from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Linked Offences Commission. You're most welcome. Then we have Mr. Taiwo Dominic Olaleye from Justice, Development and Peace Movement. We have Mr. Wale Balogun from Justice, Development and Peace Movement. So as the list keeps coming in, we keep appreciating us and then getting to know us better. Thank you very much. Now we go to the welcome address, which is going to be delivered by the General Coordinator of JDPN, Reverend Father Peter Akinkomi. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Big Bishop of Shogo Diocese, with the legal order of the Justice, Development and Peacemaker Center, I wish in a special way to greet and to welcome all of you here present. In a special way, I take this opportunity on behalf of the Bishop to appreciate and welcome Annie Liz and Dagmar, who are both long-term observers of the European Union, whom we inform within very short notice of our gathering here today and are graciously here with us. Thank you for coming. Also, I wish to appreciate all stakeholders, partners who work with us, about 200 of them across Osun State, here where we work, who work at the grassroots level to engage with government on governance issues. We have our 93 election watchers, representatives of the 93 election watchers, who are here today, who are to work with us during this year's general election to observe the processes of the election to ensure safety of the security agencies. All of these partners that will work together for credible election in our country, Nigeria. Dear friends, we all know that election is the foundation of representative democracy. In our scripture, the book of the Psalms, Psalm 11 verse 3 says, once the foundation is, the just or the righteous can do nothing. Together, and we are grateful to always have the international community willing to work and partner with us to make sure that our elections, which stand as the foundation of our democracy, continue to improve over the years. In so doing, as members of civil society organizations and as well with the media, we have always worked hard along with the international community to challenge our election management body, the INEC, operational procedures which manifest credibility, inclusivity, and guarantee free and fair procedure in the electionary process. We do this by making recommendations, by advocating for policy change and policy reforms, and our contribution as members of society organizations have yielded lots of fruits across the years, and especially in the new election law, the Electoral Act 2022. A lot of input came from the civil society organization and as well from the contribution of the international community. While we challenge INEC to do better, we are aware as well that we are major stakeholders in the process of election. While we continue to ensure or work with INEC for INEC to strengthen its election management and procedures, we must challenge ourselves as well as civil society organizations along with the media to make sure also that our own mode of election observation, of our researches, and of our recommendation for better election and as well transparent and credible, we must be seen improving our process of information gathering in order to ensure as well that our recommendation to government and to election management body are as well credible. So, in doing this, our organization, as part of the civil society organization, has over the years been working hard to see how we can deploy the use of technology to ensure that our process of information and data gathering is as well credible and reliable. In 2020, during the Edo and Ondo governorship elections, Justice Development and Peacemaker Center, in collaboration with the International Foundation for Electoral System, developed the Jekafimo. Jekafimo was a mobile app that was used by our field observers to track campaign finances ahead and during the elections in Edo and Ondo states. This year's general election, the organization, working in partnership with the European Union, has also developed a mobile application for a more credible, reliable, and information is what we are unveiling for our partners to come in contact with for the first time today. And the name of the application is Just Watcher. It is going to be deployed for the tracking of election violence, especially gender-based violence during the election, during the period of the election. It is also going to be deployed in order to track vote buying, because each of the time we develop this mobile application, we make sure they focus on emerging issues and problems relating to our process of election. Vote buying and the issue of gender-based violence, you agree with me, are at the central stage of the problem we face ahead of the coming election. So we are going to be deploying the Just Watcher in order to strengthen our capacity for data gathering. We are going to deploy field officers. They are the ones referred to as the Just Watcher. We are going to ensure that their process of data gathering and their data transmission reflects absolute credibility, to ensure that we as civil society organizations who should be contributing to strengthening the process do not end up spreading fake news that hit up the quality. This essentially is the very reason why we are deploying this app, to ensure credibility in our process of data gathering. I am not going to preempt the person who is going to present the mobile application to us. I will stop at this point by appreciating all of us who are here, and I can assure you that if we continue to work together like this, we will continue to make our own humble contribution to the process of strengthening election in Nigeria. Thank you very much for coming.
We have heard the welcome address, Justice Development and Peacemaker Center, Oshogo, Reverend Father Peter Itukomi. In appreciating the efforts of our stakeholders who are gathered here today, we would like to hear goodwill messages from them within a very short period of time. So I invite the representative of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission to give us a goodwill message. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to say I appreciate the invite to this event. The DPMC, they are agents of promoting governance in Nigeria, and that is what we in ICPC will also do, because any effort towards ensuring that it is doing, we in ICPC we appreciate such efforts. And I would also like to say that JDPMC, they have always been partnered with ICPC through our National Anti-Corruption Foundation. So we've been working together. We are partners in the progress of the development of Nigeria. So I would like to congratulate you for this event. And I believe the Almighty God will continue to give you more strength to do more for this nation. Thank you very much.
Briefly, we will hear from the representative of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. The representative of European Union in attendance, the JDPMC, the members, the men of the 4th Estate of the realm, all other courtesies are duly extended. I bring greetings from the State Commandants, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Osun State Command, in person of Commandant Agbola Sunday, I want to appreciate the JDPMC for always being a voice for the voiceless. And our command and the organization have a robust relationship. So what we're doing today, to me, is not actually new. During the last gubernatorial election, a situation room was set up in our command, and it was a huge success. And today, we are here for the inauguration of J-Watcher mobile application and official opening of Survivor Service Center ahead of the 2023 general elections. This is a very good development, and I want to assure you that you are not in this together. We are here to support you. I'm giving you that assurance. We received a directive from our national headquarters that we are to deploy all our female squad. We are deploying them massively for these forthcoming general elections in order to make sure that women are not denied of their right to vote during the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Quickly, of the day, which is the general overview of the EU SDGN in Nigeria. Thank you very much. And that is going to be anchored by Mrs. Morenike Onolapo, the Project Monitoring and Evaluation Officer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Welcome, all of us. I want to especially welcome the EU team here. Thanks for coming. And starting on the protocol, I will be presenting the overview of the EUSDGN program phase 2 action in Osun, Oyo, and Ekiti states. I know this presentation to some individuals here will not be a new one, but for the sake of those that are attending our programs for the first time, maybe, I think it is necessary for us to give an overview of what we are doing. We are not just sitting here, something led to something, and that is the reason why we are here. So this is presented today during the official opening of the GBV Survival Service Center and launching of Just Watcher mobile application organized by JDPMC Oshogo. So for this action, the EU SDG is being implemented by 3 critical the first one is Justice Development and Peacemaker Center Oshogo, which is the organization coordinating the project action in 3 states, Osun State, Oyo State, and Ekiti State. And the second partner there is Justice Development and Peace Movement. They are the one implementing this action in Oyo State. And we have Justice Development and Peace Initiatives, JDPI Ekiti, implementing the same action in Ekiti State. What is the action focusing? The action is focusing on promoting inclusive, participatory, accountable, and representative democratic government. There are key adjectives or adjectives in this designation of the action: inclusivity, participatory, accountability, and representativeness of the action. So it is promoting inclusive, participatory, accountable, representative democratic governance. I know we understand this. I don't want to expatiate more on this because of the limited time that I'm having. So having said that, this action is particularly seeking to address 4 critical issues relating to which is very clear to every one of us. The first one is low youth political participation. The second one is low women political participation. The fourth one is electoral violence in Nigeria. If you look at these critical points, you will discover that these critical issues manifest always in a democratic process. And this is the reason we consider it necessary to address this in this action. The overall objective of this action is like I earlier said, to promote inclusive, participatory, accountability, and in 2023 general election. And the first specific objective there is to reduce gender-based violence. And the second one is to cultivate 3 state-based youth-specific campaign finance and election watchers, which will help to promote peaceful, transparent, credible elections ahead of the forthcoming election, and also to reduce citizen apathy in the democratic process, and lastly to promote access to justice and human rights for vulnerable and disadvantaged violence survivors. Next. So for that, we target 4 categories of beneficiaries. The first one are the youth, the in-school and the out-of-school ones. The second one is the non-state actors. Third is the state actors, and the fourth one, public. So with that, how are we going to achieve all what we said we want to achieve? We have some strategies in place, and these are the baseline data collection, citizen needs assessment development, stakeholders education, enlightenment training and capacity building, the electronic mobile application, which we call JWatcher, use of media, outreaches, campaign, networking and collaboration, follow-up supervisory visits, information dissemination and exchange platforms, and monitoring and evaluation. These are the strategies we want to use. And having used these strategies, what are we aiming at? The first one is to ensure that there is a resource-oriented CSO and non-state actors collaborative actions. Then inter-stakeholder interactive platform established to increase citizen awareness on election violence causes and prevention. The fourth one is to enhance women, youth, and people with disabilities participation in election process, to enhance election process coordination, to reduce gender-based violence and apathy, to increase transparent, to ensure that there is inclusive, transparent, representative, and credible election, to ensure that vulnerable groups develop safety confidence during electionary process, to ensure that there is peaceful and non-violent election, and lastly to ensure that there is increase in number of registered voters that participate in election. At least 15% increase is recorded. So having said that, I want to say thank you and you're welcome.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Without wasting further time, we go to the reason why we're all gathered here this morning, which is the overview and launching of the JustWatcher mobile app. And that will be presented by Mr. Festus Ojewumi, the project manager. Thank you very much.
All right, I want to take us through the JustWatcher mobile application that we are here to launch. This is actually the first phase of the activity for today. So going straight to the point, what is JustWatcher? JustWatcher is actually a mobile application developed to track gender-based violence, to report and track gender-based violence before, during, and after 2023 general election, and this will be done in Osun, Oyo, and Ekiti states. Actually, the mobile application has actually been developed on Android. It runs on Android with a backend. I'm going to quickly take us through the backend and see how the thing will work. It's a violence hotspot marker and tracker that enables crowdsourcing. What do we mean by crowdsourcing? It means that anybody who has the access to that app can actually report proceedings in our polling unit, gender-based violence, rates of women participation, and other things during the election and report. So that is it. And the report can actually be done in 3 ways. Number one, it can be through picture. The second way it can be through live streaming, and it also can be through short videos. I'm going to quickly show us how it runs. Now we have a back end. The back end is where we're going to have the information, all the information set by our trained election watchers. Like Father rightly said, both in Osun, Oyo, and Ekiti states, we have trained over 237 election watchers. we have their representatives here. So they will be reporting directly to our Just Watcher election situation room. We're going to take us there shortly. So from the back end, we'll be able to have access to everything that is going on at the polling units where we have actually deployed the election watchers. Now, I want us to do a kind of practical, because of our time. We are with our phone, we can quickly enter that and download the app. Actually, we have some of the people that have actually downloaded the app, some of our trained election watchers. So once that jwatcher.org, that's the application /justwatcher.ap. We enter that in our browser, definitely it's going to download. We can write it down. So we download that from our, any moment from now, after this launch, we're going to place it on Play Store, where everybody can actually have access to it. So we can download that as we speak. We enter that http://jwatcher.org APK. So once we are done with the launching, we enter it, we place on the Play Store. So once we are done with that, we will install. The home page, we have to enter our name, our state, local government, then we upload our profile pictures. We want to ensure that whoever that actually reports to that platform, we know the location, we know where the person is reporting from, we have the face of that person, and we can actually track. I will show us how to track. So once we download, this is going to be the home page. It's going to welcome us, Just Watcher mobile application, and this and that. So the site, we have our full name, we enter our full name and our phone number. So once we enter our phone number, then we sign uploads. Some of the uploads that people have actually uploaded. So these are step-by-step of running through the app. It's actually a mobile app friendly, very friendly, I must say. Once you are able to, it's friendly being uploaded, you can have a click, they need mobile app. If you want to see short pictures, all these things, they are actually there once you enter the home page. Time will not permit me to take us through the nitty-gritty, but I want to show us the back end, because you might be asked, okay, all these information that are uploaded via this app, where do they get to? How are we going to process the information? How are we going to respond to information processed? I'm going to show us those things. Now, like I said earlier, that this mobile app can actually be used in 3 ways. Number one, you can fill the form. You can fill the form there, you upload the form. Number two, you can do a kind of short video, like I said. Then the third one, you can do a kind of live streaming. Like take for instance, now I remember when we were training the watchers, we asked our trainees to upload, and everything going on, irrespective of where they are, we're actually watching them live. I'm going to show us through the back end. So this is just the step-by-step. I don't want to take our time, but let's go to the back end. And I'm going to explain it, and we're going to practicalize it right away. This is the back end that actually shows everything that is happening as regards to the mobile application. It's because we're actually launching this. Back end is not meant for for Nigeria, but I just want to show us how it works. Like we can see, we have Just Watcher mobile app content manager. It shows all the reports that have been uploaded. Take for instance, total gender-based report 21. Also, this app has been designed. What do I mean by that? I mean all the activities, talk about sensitization, civic education, what we are doing, we upload it on the mobile app, so that wherever you are, you can, once you have access to the app, you can track, oh, this is community outreach, this is community sensitization, this is who outreach, and all the like. So we have the dashboard here. This dashboard is actually divided in segments. The first one, if you can see the console, if you look at the screen, the cursor, where we have the cursor, talks about the summary of all the activities. Where we have the red button, hotspot, as many people that actually have this app can actually know where hotspots are. Like take for instance, if our election watchers recorded, oh, there is an hotspot, this is an hotspot, please be careful when you. So once it's uploaded, we get it here. Then another thing is we use the app to at the same time feed the general public about election proceedings and things like that. So we go straight. These are our. Now let me go to the live now because of time. I want to show us some of the things where we have the live. Like this is actually the dashboard where we have the live. Like take for instance, we have locations of. Let me show us some of the things that actually been. Just a minute. Okay, back to, so let's watch the screen. This cannot be projected because we're already live. Like these are our election, deployed election observers that we have here. And these are some of the So back to what we are saying. I learned we need to do the HTTP. Let me quickly. So for the sake of those that actually want to copy that. Sorry for the interruption. All right, back to the live. Now we have to look at the screen. These are some of the activities that have actually been posted, and we are going to actually have that on the election day, as we have our deployed election observers that we actually be reporting to our situation room. So from here we can actually track what is going on the field. Like the one we have by this side talk about how the way we have divided this application is information that lands on the mobile app, we control it from our own end. Like it's not everything people just post that will be found on the mobile app. So take for instance now, if you want to launch any information to the mobile app, there are ways to do. Let me just show one. Like it's asking, it's just that it's typing. Said, are you sure you want to publish this post? So once I publish, then this post actually will appear on the mobile app. So anyone that has the access to the mobile app will be able to access it on their mobile app. And at the same time,
so it's a way of filtering what is going.
Exactly. It's a way what is actually going on into the mobile app. Now, take for instance, if you want to track the location, like this is during one of the trainings. That's one of the trainings that we carry out. If you want to view the location of where this training is being carried out. So if you actually want to show the location in which the training is being held, it's actually very easy for us to show the. I just want to show us where that training was held, so we will know. So it's actually very that was where the surrounding of where that training was held. So with this, we are able to, number one, filter what is being posted. Number two, we are able to track the location in which people who are actually feeding us information, the exact location in which they are. And that is actually the essence of doing that. Well, as many of us that are here, I will actually want to invite us to our situation room on the election day. That is when we'll be able to actually have full understanding about what we are doing, how we get data from from our election watchers. Crowdsourcing data too is allowed. Like I said, we filter the data that we push out. Like anyone that downloads in wherever they are, whether in Abuja or wherever, so we can actually have access to where they are, anywhere they are. Like this mobile app has actually been downloaded a lot in some locations. Let me show us those locations. So those are the locations. If we zoom it, we will see where the mobile apps have been downloaded. So those are the locations, majorly in Oshogbo, Oyo, Ekiti. Also, we can actually track the location where this mobile where people actually downloading and feeding us with the information about this mobile application. Like I said, it's going to be in sections, going to be in units, reports from gender-based violence track, different reports coming on the election day. And as many of us are actually familiar with the app, we can actually pick the type of posts we are making. Like, do you want to post on election? Are you posting on voter education and all the like? So this is just the summary of how the app works at the back end. So if you have any question, we will, like I said, this is just the mobile app. We're going to go to the situation and how everything will work on election day. I don't know if we have anyone with brief question before we take us down to the situation, our survival service center and just watch I situation. That room will be where we are going to have access to information, process information that people actually send to us on the election day. That is where we are going to process it through our rapid response team that we inaugurated some weeks back. So let me pause for now. I want to say thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. I hope for those of us who are coming in contact with this app for the first time, I hope we now have at least a glimpse of what this app is all about and what it is capable of doing. Having said that, we proceed to the official The situation room is being used for a brief time, for a press briefing. So let us go to questions and answers if there are any at all. Be it about the presentation we just listened to, or about other things that we do not understand about the app, because all of us seated here will eventually end up working and using that app. So it's a good avenue to ask questions and seek clarifications if there are any complexities at all from the presentations we have heard.
All right.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. My question is, you mentioned 3 states only, Ekiti, Oyo, and Osun State. So you are telling us that outside these 3 states, no other person from probably Kogi, Ilorin cannot have access to the app. And if they have access to the app, can they operate it the way you explained to us? Or if they are given reports from their own polling units, will you be able to do something, or the development agents will be able to do something on their own, what's it called now, perspective? Thank you.
All right. I don't know if should I respond to that?
Please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Like I said, the application is a crowdsourcing mobile app. It's just that our area of intervention on this project is Osun, Ekiti, and Oyo. But that does not mean somebody in Abuja cannot use the app. Someone in Kaduna can use the app. But once that person sends to us, the back end will tell us that, okay, this person is sending outside the protection. But that does not mean we will not treat. That will not permit us. There is a section that we will have to authenticate you, so that the reports coming from you, once you are authenticated, will be treated as urgent as possible. That is one. But we can get the information and try as much as possible contact the zone there to take action. Like I said, as you are anywhere you are in Nigeria, you can actually download the app and use. That will not permit us. I will show us people are downloading in Abuja. If I can quickly show us that the location. Like, if you can see the screen, just watch our field. See, where we are having those red buttons hanging, those are the locations where they have actually downloaded the app. It's just to let you know that it's not actually restricted to those 3 states. So the location where we are landing, and by the time I zoom further, I can see where that person is. Like this one, if you can see my app, if you see the end, it said Abuja Federal Capital Territory. Someone uploaded from Abuja, and that is actually the surrounding where that person uploaded. So if you are not in Osun, whether you're not in Osun, you can actually use it. And irrespective of where you are. And like I said, the app is actually so very friendly. Just enter your name, enter your phone number, you will see where to click, and it's going to ask you record. It's going to ask you what are you recording, because you need to tag every recordings. If you don't tag, it will not be submitted. So if it's okay, we are reporting so from so locations, it's going to be very easy for you. And from our own end here, we'll be able to see it. We'll be able to see the location where it's actually reporting. I hope I've answered your question. All right.
Well, thank you very much. I think I just have a simple way of describing what you showed us.
Okay.
If you, as an organization, are able to put this thing together, I think it's better for me to use. If you, as an organization, have been able to put this together, and we can even be able to look at the location, even within this confine ourselves, it means that we are moving forward. And I expect that more agencies, be able to tap into such idea and be able to build our country better. Because, of course, we need stuff like this to promote and to promote a peaceful society. So I want to say once again that kudos to JDPMC for this.
Thank you very much. So the trend is, many of us, when we travel, we use Google Map. Is that not? Yes. So Google Map can actually tell you, okay, this is where you are, this is where you are, this and that. So that's just the technology being leveraged on
to be able to see. And you know, during election observations, an observer can be in 4 or 5 places at the different times, and they will be telling you, I'm here, I'm here. So things like this will just show, okay, you are here as at this time, this is where you are, this is the information. It actually promotes I want to say transparency. Transparency, thank you. So, and at the same time, will enable full information about where you are, what you have posted, and for further information. So, thank you very much.
The effort of JDPMC is commendable. Making election in Nigeria free, fair, and credible. But you have not been able to see whether we consider going spiritual. Because in a situation where the military officers now decide on the rights of what the people have said with their votes, do we see the essence of going spiritual? Having done all this.
Alright, thank you. Okay, I don't understand. Anyway, thank God we have Reverend Father.
I want to ask him, what is the essence of the spirituality? How do you put the spirituality? How do you know if people are not imbibing spirituality in the issue? Because I'm a lawyer and I know spirituality cannot be proven. So how do you want to prove the spirituality, Pastor?
Okay.
Yes. Committing everything to the Lord's care, making everything to become successful as we envisage. So I think we have not been able to lay emphasis on that.
Okay.
I think we have excluded that, thinking that when we have been able to do all this, we think everything is normal. With what we now see in also, don't we see that that thing is also will complement our efforts?
Sir, can I?
Please go.
It is not only in Osun. I'm even embarrassed being a lawyer that yesterday this morning because of the Lawan case. It's very open. It's a matter that you bring or you challenge in the appeal that you address. You don't go and you put something from nowhere. A matter came up in the Federal High Court and it was knocked out. It went on appeal, it was further knocked out because there was actually a primary which somebody won, Machina won, and Lawan did not participate. 2 days after his participation in and lost in the presidential primaries, there was now, I want to sound civil, but I would love to use the word kangaroo primaries, so to say, which was meant to be in the know of those that did not just want it to later on be seen as if it was a selection. Then I said they held the primaries, which people did not even know about. And you now went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says it was lawful. The Supreme Court was talking on technicalities. Technicalities, I beg to say, are issues of procedural law. We are talking about substantive law. What ought to be? What is in the books? That's what we're talking about. Technicalities can be overlooked with due respect. But the fact that there was actually a known and widely announced primaries that took place and there was a winner and somebody who did not participate was now giving it is painful and unfortunate. It is very painful. And that we know how to turn things around to achieve our aims is very painful. I'll tell you that in my own, believe me, but I know that my own God that I serve is a God that is very slow to anger, who gives time and chance to people before he answers. It happened in the past, it can and it will happen again. Thank you.
What has taught us just to call our attention to the reality that faces us in our country, Nigeria. Each time we say, let us go spiritual, In Nigeria, we have misunderstood what it means to go spiritual. Yes, let us go spiritual is let us have conversation with God. And going spiritual means speaking to God and listening to God. Each time we talk about let's go spiritual in Nigeria, where we talk about let us talk to God. And this appears more or less like wanting to instruct God. If go spiritual by the objective understanding is what we have to do in Nigeria, I think we have spoken enough to God. What we need to do now is to listen. Ask us to do. Over 98% of Nigerians are either Christians or Muslims. None of the things we've been doing with our election in Nigeria is commanded by the scripture of Islam or the Christian scripture. So what's spiritual? Which kind of spiritual do we want to go? Exactly which kind of spiritual do we want to go? To continue to talk to God and put earpods in our own ear, refusing to listen to God. I am very, very, in an atmosphere like this, I am a priest, I'm a Catholic priest. I don't talk about going spiritual, because going spiritual is always the wrong context. This is where we need to remind ourselves about what God asked us to do. So each time we talk about this going spiritual, it's as if we want to distract ourselves again. We have always been, there is hardly any Nigerian that wakes up any day and doesn't pray. They talk to God. But the question is, how many Nigerians wake up every day and listen to what God says? So let us be revolutionary about how we bring religion into our politics and evolution of our society. We need to be sincere and honest. Some other clients, they go to church once in a month, once in 3 months, but whatever they hear, they try to do. We go every day, we don't listen to anything, we always want to talk. You know, this is not about spirituality alone. People easily get irritated with Nigerians when you meet outside there abroad. Why? Nigerians always want to talk. They don't want to listen to others. If you meet a garden where Nigerians are having conversation, you notice everybody is talking. Others will be listening. The other person will take turn. Then the other person will speak. The other person will listen. If people are holding conversation here, you will not hear noise. But when Nigerians are holding conversation, it is always noisy. Why? Nobody is listening to anybody. Everybody is talking. And this is what we extend in our relationship with God. Honestly, unless we change and become people who listen, we are not going to go anywhere. The confusion we have everywhere is because everybody is talking and nobody is listening. And this is the same way extend with our affairs with God. I think as a people, we need to change in our attitude. One and entire. It's not just about the political class, it's about all of us. All of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are grateful.
Thank you very much. So we go to the official opening of the Survivor Service Center.
All right, I'm going to lead us. So Father will open, then we'll see what is there. It's at the
So please, we all step out. While he leads, we follow him, so that Father will do the official opening for us.
All right, please take care of your phones. You can
Off the light, please. It's hi. Somebody give me light.
So to the glory of God, for the progress of our country, Nigeria, as a democratic nation, it is my great pleasure on behalf of the Catholic Bishop of Osogbo Diocese to open our situation room for the 2023 Nigeria's general election. So here, I hereby unveil the 2023 General Election Situation Room of the Justice Development and Peacemaker Center. So obviously, the election situation room will not just be about reporting and passing information about what is happening on the field. The issue of violence is something critical that must be met with immediate response. As a result of that, a very, very fundamental aspect of this situation room is the Survival Service Center. So there behind us, we have the banner of the Survival Service Center. So Festus is going to explain components of the situation room to us very briefly.
All right, thank you very much, Father. This is the Just Watchers Election Observers Situation Room 2023. And like I took us through, we are having data collectors here. As we can have the toll-free, please, I want us to begin to call the toll-free line. Or like we said, we have 3 states here. We have Ekiti State, Osun, and Oyo State. So we'll be receiving calls from outside about the proceedings of the. So we can see the calls coming in. So we'll be receiving, the data collector receives the call here and pass it through. Like I showed us during my presentation, location trackers. We want to ensure that all our Just Watchers or whosoever that will be sending reports to our situation of violence, then it's going to be reported to our Survival Service Center at the other end. Last week, we trained a rapid response, and we have some of the trained members here, RRT, they can bear witness. So they will be here with us too. I want to start from that end. Like, take for instance, we have cases of security. So we have security personnel who happens to be part of our rapid response team that will be contacted that, oh, we got a report from so location that there have been cases of violence, there have been cases of harassment. Then the member of the RRT will make necessary connections to the field in order to rescue the situation. Although, let me add to this our is going to be opened after the general election for cases of gender-based violence that's been reported by the data collector. So, in case we have the need for medical to intervene medical team as part of our rapid response team that will actually respond to that situation. Ditto to our psychologists, who are psychologists too. If it happens to be cases of harassment, rape, and things like that. So we have psychologists that will actually attend to that. Ditto to gender counselor, and in case we need legal legal advice, legal things. So we'll be having the legal team that will actually be responding to that. Like I said, this is not only about election. It's going to be open after the election. So we'll still be tracking the cases using our mobile app or through the direct call. So for what I just quickly explained, that is going to be what is going to take place February 25, 2023, not only in Osun State here, Ekiti State, the same thing will happen, then Oyo State, the same thing will happen. So we're just doing the unveiling today, and as you can see, the toll-free line for 3 states, we have 3 toll-free lines that whosoever that falls in that location, they will be able to attend to this. And you can see the wall, speak up, resist violence against women, how many women is harming humanity, speak up, also okay. So this is just the summary of what is actually going to happen during the February 25, and we are unveiling it today by 7 a.m. God willing, February 25. Everyone is invited to visit. We can tell our friends we're going to perform magic here. Let me say that.
So, because I was going to ask, how do we sensitize people about this toll-free lines?
Thank you.
Because it's very important.
Thank you, ma'am. We are radio program. We have election watchers, deployed election watchers. As a matter of fact, we collaborated with National Orientation Agency. They are part of our election watchers, and they'll be doing wonderfully. We want them to take the report to the grassroots, talk about these report cases, and also we'll be doing community outreach. Community outreach that we engage cultural groups that talk about this, we talk about the toll-free line. And any moment from now, we'll be running the toll-free line, things like that, on channels, television to promote publicity. Let's be on the watch. So that is what we plan to do for this election. I don't know if anyone has any question. Any question on how it's going to work? Yes.
The fact that it should be beyond election makes it
yes, beyond the election. Beyond the election.
GBV is beyond electoral.
Exactly.
Because I've had because mine is a federal government organization, okay. So I've had reason to synergize with a couple of federal government organizations to when this use of GBV comes up. So now with this, I guess it will be faster because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy and all that. Because I synergize with NAPTIP, yeah. They also don't tolerate GBV, and they make sure that whosoever is the victim gets a relief from the perpetrator, gets we do MOU and they sign, and there's also a feedback. So there are a lot to do. This is a good one.
Thank you very much. I want to let us promote the toll-free line and also the app. So about cases of gender-based violence, let us report. And we are presently treating a case at the Ministry of Justice now. And like I said the other time about the app, once uploaded, we control the information that goes into the app. There are some cases you won't have access to, but we know that we're actually working on that. One is in our hands now that we're actually working on. It happened recently. So thank you very much. Thank you. So do we have any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to the event.
Okay.
I just put my mind here. The land is sinking, flame river, home of the weeping, still see the child, and it rises, rising again, oh God, we are Nigeria, this is our war, defend our union, bring our heroes, Nigeria, let's restore our freedom.
I'd like to check in at your red button in a very special way. That they are required to there will be a brief meeting.
We are neither talking about northeast, northwest, and north central. Just, are you close to Bonham? Okay. Your monitoring is just southwest, hello? That's the question. You are not talking about that part of Nigeria. You're talking about the northeast, north, the central, north central, and south
Thank you very much. Election observation has to do with being practically on the ground. For us as an organization, this is where we are. This is where we are, and we do not pride ourselves as if we are the only ones who are working even here in Osun State or in Oyo in Ekiti. There are many stakeholders. Okay, as we are doing our own little bit here, there are other civil society organizations in other states as well who are trying to do the same thing in order to ensure friendly election. Some of them are members of our network, people we partner with, people we share information and idea with, and we strengthen each other's process of election observation. So yes, it is true. For our own program, we are restricting ourselves to Ekiti, Oyo, and Osun State. The jack of all trades is a master of none. So we are focusing somewhere. Whatever information we get from these three states is going to be a contribution, along with what others are going to bring from elsewhere. This is how we strengthen democracy. In the EU, SDGN, there are other partners who are working with EU as well in these other states, focusing on issues that are most fundamental and peculiar to those states. See, Nigeria is a very mighty nation. Yes, we have problem with election, but the nature of the problem differ from places to places. We have identified the ones that are peculiar with us in Ekiti, Oyo, and Osun. So those are the areas we are focusing on. Others in other states are focusing also on issues that are critical to them and trying to respond in accordance with the outlook and the nature of their own problems. Thank you.
All right.
Sir, can you remind us once again that the numbers of the people that are trained to observe the election?
Across the three states, Ekiti, Oyo, and Osun, we have trained 237. For Osun State, 93. But as well, we have those we refer to as community watchers, members of the Good Governance Committee. We have 200 of them across their own communities. These are not expected from they are expected from their own communities to and also give us feedback. 200 of them.
Yes, then sir, actually we all believe that the launching of this application is towards ensuring the proper electoral process in Nigeria. So I want to find out if at the end of the day, whether you're going to make your findings available to INEC, maybe a kind of recommendation or stuff like that, or the information we are going to gather is just going to end with the results is there.
Thank you. All of these efforts is always directed towards something, and it is to make the election better, to always improve on election. All of our election observation, usually we don't ever stop at mere carrying out. In this organization, we don't carry out activities. We are always targeting results. Our effort is always result-oriented. To have done election observation, and it's not just about sharing it with INEC, it's about sharing it with all stakeholders and pushing them to act according to whatever we share with them. We don't just stop at sharing information with INEC. We go as far as Abuja, we call press conference, we engage with INEC, we engage with bodies of the international community to inform them about some of our findings. Well, we may be here in Oshogbo, but our organization has made a lot of efforts to ensure that there are more serious and stringent measures taken with respect to campaign finance. We are not still going to stop with respect to the issue of campaign finance. We've been on the field with respect to campaign finance, seeing findings that very soon vote buying is going to be the biggest problem that will plague election in Nigeria. here we are today. And this is why, as I have said earlier, we don't go to the field to begin to observe everything about election. Jack of all trades is a master of none. We always focus on certain components. The ones we have found to be issues of big concern, we try to focus on them. Between 2018 and 2021, our focus, and 2020, our focus was on campaign finance. And from campaign finance, we began to see how vote buying was going to become an issue. By the time we were having the Ekiti and Osun election, we focused specifically on vote buying. And now, with the new electoral law, we begin to see issues of intimidation of women. Because vote is beginning to count now, we begin to see all forms of machineries of people who like to play bad politics, who now begin to make use of intimidation to scare people away from coming to perform their civic right. Because of that, we have extended it to focus on gender-based violence before election, during election, and after election, along with the issue of vote buying, which has come to the front burners today. So I can assure you that as an organization, to just implement activity and keep quiet, simply you should be suspicious of organizations who do that. You just implement activities for the sake of implementing activities. It means you are either making money from it, or you are making advertisement to make money. If you are out to achieve something, you couldn't have observed the election and you just go and put the reports under some covers. No. Civil societies you should make use of the report to achieve your purpose. We share this with the rest of civil society organizations, we share it with the media, and usually this informs our discussion with INEC and all other election stakeholders ahead of the next election. So usually this is what we do. For sure, for this particular one, this is what we are also going to do. Thank you.
Do we have further clarifications or questions? All right. So, Father, you still have the floor. We'd like to hear your closing remarks. Thank you.
Well, my closing remark will simply be to appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here today. You are here today because you believe in us. You are here today because you have seen something meaningful in our humble efforts. We are already at the threshold of election. All election stakeholders are very, very busy. We know that this is a very busy time for every one of you. As we have our own plan, things we intend to do for the election, we know you have yours also. Things that you should be giving your time to, focusing your energy and resources on. If you have left that to be with us today, we are not taking it for granted. We sincerely appreciate your sacrifice, your kind words, and your belief in what we do. I would assure you that as an organization, we will never let the society down. We know we are supposed to be vanguards of truth, we are supposed to be honest, we are supposed to be credible in everything we do, as we challenge state actors to be credible. As I've said during my opening remark, we know that we also have obligation to be credible in everything we do. We will always assure you of that, and as usual, our doors are always open for collaboration, to work with all of you. We have invited you because we believe that we need to work with you. And for sure, we are always open and always outreaching to work with you. Where we are needed, where our partnership is needed, we are also open to always work together, to share information together, to see that the collaboration among civil society, the media, the other state actors is really working for the good and for the progress of democracy in Nigeria. So thank you very, very much. I pray that the good Lord will really hear our prayers. The Lord has always heard our prayers. We really pray that the good Lord will also transform our hearts to have the goodwill towards our fatherland. Japa does not mean anything. Recently I was discussing with some people, saying, Nigeria, we are not learning from the experience of Israel. Israel as a nation, God was warning Israel, God was speaking to Israel, Israel was not listening. By the time the last attack on Israel was going to happen when General Titus sacked the whole of Jerusalem, the Jewish people, they were very proud and happy, they all Japa. Before we knew it, they were German Jews, American Jews, British Jews, French Jews, Russian Jews, all over the place. But then, suddenly, hatred and dislike against the Jewish people Before you know it, anti-Semitism came. Hitler came from nowhere. But how many Jewish people lost their life? Nobody begged them. The Zionist movement started again. The Jewish people started returning back to their homeland. Your fatherland is your fatherland. You must make efforts to stabilize and make your fatherland work. If it doesn't work, the foreigners in a situation, and you could already see the hatred against Nigerians. That which we cannot do in our homeland, that we are doing there. Nigerians who are hardworking, who are resourceful, you see their host community beginning to generate jealousy against them. You already begin to see violence against Nigerians, dislike, sense of jealousy. These are already handwriting on the wall that should warn us that these communities are not going to host us for too long. They are not going to be comfortable with a foreigner coming to become richer and more established than them in their own fatherland. We need to stay back home and make our nation work. This is where we belong. Since I have been in Nigeria, nobody has come to come and ask me for my identity card, whether I am a citizen of this country. I know what it takes. When you are over there on the bus, they come to ask you questions. When you are on the train, they come to take your fingerprints and all of that. That reminds me every day, this is where I belong. If it works here, I will thrive as a human being. So I really do hope that all of us will come to put up this kind of spirit. Let us all work passionately. Let our country be better. Our country can be better. We are people, we have the good stuff in us. Let us develop the good stuff that is in us as human beings and try to stamp out those negative forces that are bringing our country down every day. So thank you very, very much. May God bless the rest of the day for each of us.
Thank you very much, brother. Because we believe our country will be better, we will all be on our feet now and take the national prayer to close this ceremony. And we'll go at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders' lives, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and truth. Great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice will reign. Amen. Thank you very much. So